Hello, everyone. It's time for Practice Time with Ms. Rhona, a series where I share practice tips and tricks with students and musicians all over the world. So today's topic is technique. But I don't want to rehash what I did last season. I'll put a link to that one where I shared ideas on how to practice technique, like how to vary the rhythm and the articulation. So today what I'd like to do is kind of talk about what we as teachers and the examiners are looking for. So we don't assign scales and triads and arpeggios to torture you guys. That's not the intent. So the whole purpose of technique or technical exercises is to give you the tools or the chops to be able to handle your pieces and to advance. So the result of that, if you practice your technical exercises regularly, is that you can learn your pieces a lot more quickly. You're recognizing the patterns. You'll be able to slog through a little bit faster because your fingers can handle it. Your brain can handle it. So unfortunately, there's no magic formula. You don't instantly know your scales. You do have to practice them lots. But if you do recognize the patterns, then, that therein lies the keys to success. The examiner's guidelines for assessment of technical requirements. So I got this from, this was brought up in an RCM, or Royal Conservatory workshop. So I'll put the comments on one of the sides here. What I like doing is sharing this with my students and then having them look at and decide, okay, I just want to pass, so this is what I'm looking for. Or, use it as your stage 1. You just want to get to the pass level. And then stage 2 to honors. And then if you want to do first class honors, ideally you're shooting for as good as you can get. What makes a fail? Let's start there. So very slow or uneven tempo. So I'll put the link down below to both the RCM piano syllabus. Actually, I'll just do a link to all the syllabi because this will apply to other instruments as well, and to Conservatory Canada's as well. So link below. I'm just going to grab my handout here, though. So say I'm just going to flip here. So grade 4. So you need to be able to execute your scales at least 92 beats a minute, playing eighth notes. So if you are so much slower, like 40 beats a minute, then yeah, that's going to be very slow. Uneven tempo. So that's like looking at, so you're going. So that's very uneven tempo. Inadequate knowledge of keys. So the examiner asks you to play, your D major scale, and you totally blank out. Or, you're fumbling and you're doing. That would be an example of inadequate knowledge. Inaccurate notes, that kind of ties in with that, right? So uneven touch. So that would be like some notes are strong and then some are. So you're aiming for even. Even being equal. Poor tone quality. So that kind of ties in together too. Although that could be more like overall. So I had a student who, when she first started, very, very soft. Actually, I have a couple of students like that. So, or they just, they're just playing on top of the keys rather than sinking in. So, not sinking in would be an example of poor tone quality. Inconsistent fingering. So, if you did 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then come back and do something completely different. So inconsistent. And lack of rhythmic flow. So that would be, it's hard to hear the groupings of if they're in twos or if they're threes. So what we're basically looking for is that you're able to do it at a fluent tempo. So, if you don't know what fluent means, well, it means that you have enough knowledge and you're comfortable enough in the language, whether it's English or Japanese or music. The tempo guidelines that they do have in the syllabi, so plural for syllabus, is that's the minimum required. If you want to get a better mark, or, not that this is all about marks, but if you want to master these patterns, then go faster. Go faster. The thing is, you have to stay in control. So fluent tempo. So for example, for grade 4, they're saying at least 92 beats a minute. So 92. I did a little too much of an accent there on the first note, but that was clear that I was doing them in groups of 2. So a fluent tempo for grade 10 would be 120 and playing at 16. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Animated out. To be fluent, that speed is confident. You have no hesitation when either us as the teacher or the examiner asks for a specific key or a specific technique. Accurate notes, good tone quality. So there is a bit of wiggle room. If you take a look at your scale books, you'll see like the most commonly used fingering. There's wiggle room because everyone's got different sized fingers. So the big thing is that you're not doing something like this where if we can avoid putting our thumb on a black note, we try. So that will help us with the speed and just getting everything nice and smooth. You could even get away with that would be logical. You could do C major, you could go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 all the way. That is logical fingering. The main thing is your hand has that nice curve. You're not extending out too flat all the time, and you can get nice speed and even tone that way. This would be an example of really illogical fingering. So I've seen students do that. That's not too bad, but the main thing is you want to try to keep that nice healthy curve that whole time through. Okay, so I brought this out yesterday at lessons just to review with a student that nice curve and that arch there that we want. Like that. So when we're on the key, there's that little bit of you could put a coin on it. I did have a teacher, I think it was Miss Mahaffey, that had me do that for a while just to make sure that was a nice, beautiful bridge. So yeah, you want that. And I'm sure, whether or not you're my student or someone else's student, we've all said it. You want to bend that joint. So this way you've got a bit more control, bit more even playing field, because now they're all touching the keys at like an equal rate, or in this case, an orange. Even articulate touch. So I was talking about how you could even do like a crescendo and diminuendo. You don't want that really huge bump, unless, you're really trying to articulate. I'm doing groups of 4s. Which I find sometimes is really good to do to make sure that I am lining up with the metronome. You could That shows like a whole new level of mastery because you can control that crescendo and diminuendo. Good rhythmic definition and flow. It is probably best to demonstrate this with arpeggios. So arpeggios are kind of tricky. They're based on, you know, your triad, but you're being told to do them in groups of, do them in eighth notes, do them in 16th notes. So those are groups of 4. So a lot of times when I'm starting, you know, introducing this to students, I have them really just accenting that first note in the group 4. So just to really break them out of that, because that is not what they want to hear on a test. Okay, what else? If we are aiming for first class honors, so required tempo or better, solid knowledge of keys, accurate notes, controlled, precise, articulate performance. So controlled, so if you're doing that crescendo on the way up and diminuendo on the way down, that shows control. Precise, so your notes are solid, they're clear, the tone is even, the touch is, you know, it's clear, it's consistent. The fingering's got to be bang on, logical. And then vitality and flexibility and rhythmic flow. So I always find that one a little bit hard to interpret. It's like, what are they looking for? It just has to sound interesting, because you can play a scale really blah. Or so that wasn't as clean, but that was a little bit more exciting to listen to. Other teachers, if you have any insight on what that phrase means in the metrics here, just drop it down in the comments. All right, so that's it for today. I thought it would be good to address what teachers and what examiners are looking for in terms of, you know, what constitutes fluency. So next episode, we're going to take a look at this pile of books here. So these are all different books featuring technical exercises, technical requirements, all that fun stuff. I'm not really going to critique them per se, like to say one is better than the other, because really it's what's good for one person might not be good for the other person because of, you know, hand size. Some of these exercises are awkward if you have small hands. We'll take a look at them, and hopefully we can get some dialogue going too as to, you know, if there's other books that you've been using that you think would be worth checking out. So thank you for checking out the video. If this is your first time on the channel, do check out some of the other videos, the previous practice time episodes and the specials and demos which come out every week. And next week, oh yes, I have to make this announcement. My students, well, not all of them have voted, but it seems like the leading name for the new Livestream series is Trip Up the Teacher. So I've got 3 challenges so far. If I get a few more between now and next Friday, then I'll have to put them on slips of paper in a hat and draw for 3 challenges. That's going to be a series that's going to alternate with this one. It's a live stream practice where I will do a few of the challenges that my students present to me. So some of them I'll be able to execute like that practice, and some will have to be like carried over, because one student's challenged me. She wants to see how quickly I can, you know, completely learn her piece. So not just her trouble spots, but like learn it and take it up to performance standard. So that is going to be an interesting challenge. That'll be a good challenge. I'm actually looking forward to that one. For now, that series is going to be, you know, my students and you, the viewers, can send me some practice challenges to do. And like I said, I'll do it in a live stream practice for, hopefully your edutainment. It'll be a good challenge for me as well. In time, I hope to bring on some musical friends, and then we could kind of turn this into like a really fun, lighthearted competition to see, who can play the scale fastest, or who can do, this the best. I don't know. Well, the sky's the limit on that one. We'll see where we can take that. If you'd be interested in joining me on that journey, drop me a message as well. Now, if you did like this video, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe button, the notification bell, so you can find out when future videos are uploaded. And if you'd like to support the channel, either a one-time donation or a monthly support, head over to our Ko-fi page. I'll put the link down below. There's, I'm sharing the videos that you see on the YouTube channel, but there's some Ko-fi exclusives for supporters. So don't forget to check that out also. Till then, have a great weekend and catch you in the next video. Bye!